Good afternoon, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with simpleroptions.com, and in today's free video I wanted to look at some things that John had shared with me this morning as things were hot and heavy. We had a very interesting day today as Brexit has followed through, and now we've finally got some results from that, which I am, for one, very happy to see. So many times you have these events that end up being non-events, and it's just this big build-up with nothing, all retch and no vomit. But finally, we got the move. So, okay, obviously the pound took a hit off of this. How are we using this for intraday analysis? As you zoom in, this is where you will find the levels that we were watching as the day opened. So being on Central Time, the market's open here at 8:30 Central, and we started here with the pound, and we rallied right up into this area of resistance. As we got up into those levels, the thing that I like comparing, and it varies on a day-to-day basis. Some days you will have crude that is the leading indicator with the S&Ps. Obviously today the pound was in focus, and you can see that this high bar on the 5-minute chart came into play at 9:15, 15 minutes into the cash session. So then when you zoom in on this, where was the high in the S&Ps? That bar was made on the 9:15 bar as well. So you can use things like this, depending on what the hot market of the day is, to try and use as a leading indicator for the indices. Now the pound did not fall apart, but its weakness provided weakness throughout the S&Ps throughout the day, and I think that will be helpful next week as well. So that is one thing to keep an eye on there. And then the other thing that I was going to show you today, completely different topic, but something that I think is still helpful, are situations where I am willing to take assignment on positions, and this was in Bed Bath & Beyond. Now the only way that I'm going to do this is in a spot where I'm getting assigned in the direction of the trend. Now this is not for everybody. You may not enjoy this type of thinking, and there's definitely some risk involved, but as I look at the spread I have on, and we were doing this around earnings, I have a couple other positions on it as well, but the core of the idea that I am working that expired today was a short call spread. I was short the 43s and long the 45s. Well, as I went into the close, these are in the money. I sold the 43s and we closed at 43.10. So if I'm short the 43 call, what does that mean? It means I'm going to wake up with 500 shares short in Bed Bath & Beyond. Essentially what I'm doing is taking margin that my broker is going to assign me on, and they'll do this for you sometimes even if you don't have the margin to pay for them, which is kind of an interesting, it's a two-edged sword. You've got to be very careful with it, but if you get this position on Monday, and then you wake up and you've got all the red flags, like you've got a margin call, it can seem very distressing. However, if you can get those 500 shares short, and then get any type of gap down, which I feel pretty comfortable with, working against this area of resistance, it's just a nice way to add some leverage to your play. Now, of course, I don't want to hold that through Monday, but I'm okay taking assignment in positions where I'm taking that assignment with the trend, not to mention I'm bearish on the markets anyway. So that is one thing that's kind of a nuance of options trading, especially as you get closer to expiration. It is not for everyone, but it's something you might want to think about. One last thing I wanted to make sure that you are all aware of is that we are going to be streaming our live event that will start on this Sunday. Obviously, I am very much looking forward to this. We're going to have pretty much every member of the team there working on this. It's going to start on Sunday, go through Tuesday, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if you weren't able to make it for whatever reason and you'd like to check it out online, you'll be redirected to a place where you can sign up for that at the end of this video, and I hope you found it helpful.